Twin Bill, where you can get your fill of hosts Jason and Marcus talking about movies and stuff. You know you never can get enough. A twin is two people who are related. Twin Bill. This season is Razzie Mania. Hello! Welcome to Twin Bill, the show where a guy with twin thumbs and his brother uh review a movie in this case.
Your thumbs down.
Uh I'm here with my identical twin brother and co-host, as always, Marcus Luna. How are you doing today, Marcus?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing good. Nice the whole job search and being old and okay, start making roasties I don't even have up just for this part. Okay, I'm fine. Per usual on our update, what the fans really want to hear about. Did you see anything this week other than it's my turn?
Uh, did I? Good question. Actually, no. Just World Cup and some Dodger games here and there, but try to do a better job of I haven't wanted to see Toy Story 5, but I haven't gotten around to it. Hopefully I can get to that soon.
Yeah. It's okay that you didn't see anything this week because I saw three things to make up for the gap. So in increasing order of relevance to talking about it, first of all, I saw Trancers 3, Death Lives. That's not the concept of dying, that's Jack Death, Deth. Private investigator from the future who kills what's roughly defined as zombies that are controlled by someone else.
You saw the first two?
Yes. Very similar to the first two. Tim Thomerson shoots bad guys. Weird thing about this movie is they introduced the concept of the creator of the Trancers, played by Andrew Robinson, who I and most people probably know for playing Garrick, the tailor on Deep Space Nine. You might remember him among other character actor roles as the main heel who loses his face in Hellraiser, the first guy with the deal with the devil.
Oh, the guy who accidentally finds him because he's trying to find adventurous sex. That guy?
Yeah, always those weird roles.
And then he's like, "Oh, and I read the book actually too of Hellraiser. They're both excellent. Clayburgh, good job."
Yeah, that was a good movie. And then, but yeah, just very low budget sci-fi movie. I'm kind of sick of it. And there's two more to watch too, which I'll probably end up doing at some point. Anyway, I also watched Alien Romulus. Do you ever see that?
No, I haven't been. I think the last Alien I saw was Prometheus.
I have to say, Alien Romulus is kind of a turn to form. Had a kind of a little bit generic but watchable action adventure plot. I did feel like it was very derivative of Alien slash Aliens, but I guess that comes with the territory these days. Yeah, very plot similarities. And then I watched something you saw, Supergirl. It's like right.
Uh, did you like it?
I mean, it was a net positive because it was like a superhero movie, but no, it was very uneven. Here's my mini review. I think a big reason people like MCU movies is because you have a protagonist you're rooting for and you like, and she's okay, but they really hammered home this whole like, Superman's so lame. I'm the one who's like honest and stuff, and she's like an alcoholic. It's very weird.
You have the whiny British girl following her around,
Yeah.
and then uh, it's, I just it's hard to describe why I didn't like it.
Well, I have a smart description. Uh, I know it's kind of unfair to critique these movies for looking like each other, but it felt a lot like a B Guardians of the Galaxy movie, like talking to aliens on buses and stuff. And then yeah, and like a ton of MCU movies, final battles on desert planets, and a very odd whiff of Mad Max because they had the child brides, and then the main bad guy with the dots in his face was just like the bad guy from Road Warrior. It was very weird.
Yeah, that guy's been in things. I think he's been better in things. He's like a what is he? Danish, Swedish?
Something foreign with his accent, you know. And then of course it reminded me a lot of the Superman movie that came out literally a year ago. That didn't help anything, but yeah, it just felt like you know you have these action set pieces that are supposed to be cool, and they were just a lot very slow, very unremarkable. I guess it was trying to push for like a quasi dramatic vibe, but it didn't really land for me. Like, yeah, okay, that's about it. That's what I felt. I did sort of warm up to Jason Momoa playing Lobo. I feel like you need like a smart mouth guy to play Lobo. Like he's too old for it now, but like Bruce Campbell in his prime would have been the perfect Lobo.
Yeah, he's not in it a lot. Um,
Yeah, and he did it. He was funny at the end when he like helps them just because he wants to beat up the bad guys. Like that was kind of the vibe of Lobo in the comics. So slight positive. Okay, let's go from well a better movie than Supergirl, not quite as hilarious to talk about as War of the Worlds 2025. Let's talk about It's My Turn. Our first segment is why this movie matters in 2026. Well, the obvious thing is that this movie's about a woman lives with a divorcee with kids, starts dating a man who may or may not still be married or entangled with his ex. So it kind of fits the modern foibles of a lot of like girls and other relationship based comedies.
mhm.
That's the most obvious connection. And then also, very sad modern connection is that this movie had a female director and a female screenwriter, and the movie bombed, and they both never really recovered, at least for a while. So it kind of sucks. It also feels relevant. Male directors get a lot more second chances with their box office results.
Know everything, especially in the world of entertainment.
Yeah. So let's go to the crew recognition breakdown thing. Do I go first? You go first.
You can go first.
Okay.
Try to remember who goes first next time.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Do you have any memories about Claudia Wheel, the director?
Spin the wheel. No, no. Go. Why don't you go ahead and tell me?
So she directed this indie hit in '78 called Girlfriends that got her this job. But what I want to talk about is one of the best episodes of the '80s Twilight Zone. It's called "A Small Talent for War" that she directed. So I'll pitch you, and then you see if you can guess the twist. So this alien goes to the UN and tells the world, like, I don't like the way you guys are doing war. You got 24 hours to fix it, and I'll come back. If it's not fixed, I'll kill everyone on Earth. So while he's gone, the Earth negotiates this emergency peace treaty for complete peace on Earth. The alien comes back. What does the alien say?
You fools! You destroyed your weapons for me to take over the world.
You're kind of close, but it's more literal. He's like, you guys misunderstood. The problem with your wars wasn't that they were bad. The problem was they weren't big enough, and he destroys the Earth. He
Yeah,
wanted he wanted Earth to be more warmongering. There you go.
be more specific to prevent the death of billions of people. But
Yeah,
okay.
it's very awkward phrasing because he can't just say, "I want you to stop war." He has to say, "You're doing war wrong," or whatever he says. And, yeah, it's stupid, but yeah. Yeah, your turn.
Yeah, positive note. Are you are you familiar with the writings of Eleanor Bergstein?
I had to look it up, but she does have a famous credit. I don't know if you looked it up, but she wrote
I'm
"Dirty
looking at it right now,
Dirty Dancing."
and then she faded away in civilian life or something. I don't know.
Yeah, at least Claudia Will basically, I think, might still be directing television, but yeah, Bergstein just yep. Okay, I'm sure you have, but do you recognize the producer, Martin Elfand?
So pulling up his IMDb. Oh wow, he did that's a big one. 5 years earlier he did was a producer on Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah, I looked it up too. That was the best one I saw. But,
It's
yeah.
wow, this is not the most prolific of crews because he did Officer and Gentleman. Well received, I guess, especially for the time and Oscar winning. But not much after that.
So I guess I'll tell this story here because it was a different producer. I don't know why Wikipedia didn't list him, but his name's Ray Stark. He's a producer on this movie, and apparently he would go on set and publicly tell Claudia Wheel she was doing a bad job, and then he tried to hijack the editing room before the movie came out, and Claudia Wheel hated working for him so much that she vowed to never direct a feature film ever again, and she didn't.
Well, it's
Yeah,
terrible.
yep. On that note, your turn.
Hey, hey, wait.
I asked you Martin Elfand.
Oh,
Goes fast.
so he's the only producer you want to talk about, I guess. Okay,
There's only
fine.
one on Wikipedia. Only one on the building on Wikipedia. That's what I use for my research.
Fine. What do you know about the music of Patrick Williams?
So I didn't know anything. He's very not sorry, not a big career, but in
He's nominated for an
1990
Oscar, huh?
he did won an Oscar.
Nominated.
Oh, for what?
Breaking Away.
Oh, I didn't know he's nominated for that. But the big one was 1990, another eclectic score, but much more eclectic movie, Cry Baby with Johnny Depp, directed by my boy John Waters. Like the first John Waters connection in this podcast, which is very odd considering the movies we cover.
Like all producers, he has hundreds of credits because they kept feeding him movies to do.
Yep, I don't know what. It's hard to get a read on his vibe. Like very saxophone heavy. This movie, like it was kind of like a freeform jazz thing.
I would call it, it's one of those movies, and we've had other movies in our Razzie run where there's a song that's not titled, but I would call it the theme of the movie. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, they play at the beginning when they're driving over the.
I guess the technical term is motif. Um,
Yes, like motif or motif. Yeah,
and I actually like the motif. I thought it was good classical music, so
I like the score in this movie. I mean, they didn't use a lot of it, but the music was good. Yeah, yeah.
I did like the jazzy version of it. So don't be hating on the saxophone.
No, I liked it. I liked it. We're saxophone blood. Uh,
But we're still making sorry, don't want to drag too long on Patrick Williams, but they were still making Charlie Chan movies in 1980s because he composed in 1981 Charlie Chan and the Curse of the Dragon Queen, and Peter Ustinov played Charlie Chan. So it's still Asians couldn't play Charlie Chan.
I'm no expert on the Charlie Chan franchise, but yes, there was a lot of like throwback.
Racism? I don't know.
No, like well that too, but movie serial movies. Like we talked about briefly, that one with Tom Selleck where he flies a World War I plane, kind of like Indiana Jones. So there's just a genre, and the professor. Anyway, I can't remember it. Richard Chamberlain plays a explorer with Sharon Stone as his assistant. It's another example, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Number one son. That's right. Charlie Chan.
don't really hear that.
Okay, how familiar were you with Jill Clay? I don't know if it's Clayburgh or something else, but yeah, Jill Clayburgh.
That was Clayburgh. What do you think it is?
Clayburgh, I guess maybe.
I don't think the G is silent too. So I looked through entire filmography. Uh, once I got assigned this movie, and I've only ever seen the only one I think I've ever seen is a posthumous one, uh, Bridesmaids. Before this,
That was her last part. Yeah.
and after watching this, old Jill Clayburgh looked like youngish Jill Clayburgh. She's 36 in this movie, so she's not a young starlet. Um,
Yeah.
she was on quite the hot streak, pun not intended, because she's also on Silver Streak. But she was nominated for two Oscars consecutively before this, right before this movie came out.
Wow.
An unmarried woman and starting over.
Both. Yeah, very similar genre, I think. I haven't seen either, obviously, but yeah. Kind of like a comedic, semi-comedic, kind of like this movie, honestly. Semi-comedic, not, doesn't have a partner.
Yeah,
And I also want to briefly mention she hosted SNL twice, and she played Carol Lombard in a TV movie that I don't know how well it was received, but it's about Clark Gable and Carol Lombard's young romance before she died in a plane accident. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so oh yeah, your turn.
It's my turn. Dun, dun,
There you go.
so you're very familiar with Michael Douglas. What do you want to say about him?
The obvious thing is what's my favorite Michael Douglas role, and it has to be Romancing the Stone, which is one of my all time favorite movies. An adventure rom com with Kathleen Turner, excellent. And Wall Street was very good too, also. So, do you have do you have another candidate or choice?
I think it's kind of lame picking a recent one, but I think he's an excellent Hank Pym for the Marvel and Ant-Man movies.
That's probably my favorite MCU movie is the first Ant Man. Yeah, so yeah, I agree. It's good. Alrighty, Root. Uh, what is your favorite performance by Charles Grodin?
I think there'd be more to choose from because he is excellent at what he does. But he didn't
Yeah,
have a tremendous career being like classic after classic like some people. Uh, he was in. I did like Catch 22, which he's in, which a lot of people are in. Did not remember him. But the top two are Midnight Run and Heartbreak Kid. That might be everyone's favorite top two. Uh,
yeah. Not for
um, but number one's definitely Heartbreak Kid. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
not for me. Number one's gonna be Clifford all the way. It's a bit of a cheeky choice, but Martin Short is the most Martin Short he's ever been in his life in that movie. So, and I also want to briefly mention because you didn't say it, his very small part in So I Married an Axe Murderer is freaking brilliant, and he also has a very funny part in Dave. Did you see Dave?
So Dave, boy, these people in politics can't balance a budget. It's like
Yeah,
it's one part.
okay, small part, but he had a few good lines.
That's all I remember is he said politicians can't do their money, and then Dave's like, "That's what I run you over."
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know how I asked this. Did you recognize Stephen Hill
Yes, I
Play.
did, because he plays the, I guess it's the DA, Law and Order, basically till he died. Still very old guy who would like give Sam Waterston and advice. You talking to the wrong people. Gotta get up there and do the normal things.
That's what I recognize him from too. Uh,
I don't know
he has a
much else.
little that role is not is because I was talking about some prosecuting a murder, so it's not very fun. He does lighten up a little bit in this movie, but
He's probably the most serious character in the movie overall. It's kind of a poignant advice giver. You know.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
Amos, the stepmom character, kind of weird.
So
Anyways,
yeah, I'll do it
so
next. It's mostly for me, but did you recognize Charles Kimbrough?
I did not, but I looking at his IMDb, he really could see it, but he kind of changed his appearance, kind of. I don't think he had surgery or anything, but just he got older. He just looks different than he did as a young man in this movie. He played the narcissistic anchor on Murphy Brown,
Yep.
and
Well,
apparently voiced who's Victor in Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's not him. I don't know who Victor is, but he voiced some guy in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
is it a gargoyle?
Oh, that's right. That's one of the gargoyles.
Yeah, he was born to play that guy Murphy Brown. This movie was a very small part. Yeah,
Did a lot of voice acting. Nice bellowing voice. Not in this movie, but as he got older.
he did make my speak a little bit. My quote nominees. Oh, we'll see that in a second. Okay, say whatever you want to say about very babyish Daniel Stern as the nerdy math student.
Daniel Stern's most famous as I would say, the voice of main character, the retrospect, the stout, the older voice of the Wonder Years main character guy, reflecting
Kevin.
on his
Yeah, yeah.
life. Since some horrible kids movie about Boy Scouts,
Bushwhacked. Bushwhacked.
but he will, and rightfully so, because he didn't honestly do a lot more, at least movie wise. As I get their names confused. Is he Mar or the other one
He's Harry.
in the Home Alone? The first two Home Alones. I don't, he doesn't come back for any other ones, thank goodness, because
Yeah. And his best normal acting was in City Slickers. The first one was better than the second one. Yeah,
that's right, he's in that. Kind of the Billy Crystal's friend in that movie kind of blend together, except for John Lovitz,
we replaced Bruno Kirby.
the big downgrade in the second one. But
All right, last one for you. Twist me.
did you recognize Gail? Wait, is she? So she's married to Charles Kimbrough, right?
That makes sense. I didn't track. I just remembered she was part of the general wedding party. But
I think she's Michael Douglas's sister,
yeah,
daughter of the mom marrying Joe Clayburgh's dad.
yes, she's played by Academy Award winning character actress Dianne Wiest. She's in one of my favorite movies ever, Parenthood, which I love, and then underrated as the adoptive mom of Edward Scissorhands.
Also in Hannah and Her Sisters,
Yeah,
which is very good.
good movie. Yeah. She won the Oscar for Bullets Over Broadway, I think it was.
Okay. So the title sounds familiar. I don't know much about that movie.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some other aspects of the movie. Let's talk about that poster. How do you feel about Piggyback?
Eh, Honestly, it's a lot more energy than I thought the whole film had. But so it's a good message, to good thing to convey in a poster for wanting to watch a romantic comedy. So kudos on the studio, whoever came up with that idea. Um,
I thought it fit the vibe of the movie very well because the movie's basically Joe Clayburgh and Michael Douglas flirting slash getting to know each other for a while. The only thing with the poster is that it doesn't really address the fact that she's with and living with uh Charles Grodin.
the whole way the movie approached that is weird. Uh,
Kind of acts like, oh, don't worry about the Charles Grodin thing, whatever. I skipped a step. Uh, oh,
I
okay, okay.
I read that I read that tagline after I saw the movie, and I didn't think of Michael Douglas as she and Charles Grodin were doing everything right, and he's quote unquote Mr. Wrong. So it's kind of
I
weird.
mean, on a literal level, it makes sense more than a movie level, if that makes sense, because she's doing everything right because she's committed to this relationship. They're making it work. They live together. It's relatively normative. And Michael Douglas has his daughter, and he might have a connection with his ex. So it's wrong in terms of it might not work out. It's more risky and more taboo ish than Charles Grodin. But I mean, as a movie, it's kind of vanilla in terms of a conflict. They don't really go for it where it's like, I don't know, he has to reject her, or they don't do that. But yeah,
Yep, that's a good way to describe it. The movie kind of washed over me.
yep. So I'm briefly, because stupid thing about the title, but It's My Turn is one of the worst movie titles that we may have covered on this podcast. It's super generic. It feels wordy saying it. It's like feels too long or something. And Jill Clayburgh's not really taking her turn as the movie implies. That would be like if she divorced someone and moved to a new city or something.
In
It's
a
not
way, she's not. She gets to explore New York without her husband. I guess it's her turn, and then
also a little vanilla, yeah.
meet Michael Douglas.
I think they should have made a baseball pun in the title, like play ball or something like that, or I don't know, because that was probably the
Ground
most
rule, ground rule double dating. Or, I don't know. I don't know.
because the old timers game and him being a baseball player was probably the most exciting part of the movie, which is not saying a lot, but yeah,
That was, yep, that was interesting. A slap in the face of all those famous ball players.
yep. Cover the tagline, which was yep. Uh, I don't know if did you watch the trailer?
They did.
There was not. It was very generic. It was like one line at the beginning that's like everything's going wrong for it's like, yeah, the right Mr. Wrong at the right time. Like, I mean, that was about it.
Right, and again, it's trying to convince me that the poster is brilliant because it's selling the same thing that Charles Grodin's Mr. Perfect and Michael Douglas is Mr. Wrong. But our introduction to Charles Grodin is him yelling about furniture while Jill Clayburgh's sitting there, kind of ignoring her. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was weird because they made Charles Grodin kind of likable on a generic level.
you always have jokes, but you don't have time for anything else.
Yeah, I'll get to that breakup scene. That was really annoying. Yeah, it's like he won't listen to her, but he's literally listening to her in that scene. It didn't work. It didn't make any sense to me, but yeah, it was a very contrived argument. Just like, he's being nice to her, and then she's like, I want this conversation to be something else. Okay, let's talk about the awards for this movie. It's just the one Razzie nomination that forced us to watch this movie for no reason. Eleanor Bergstein was nominated for worst screenplay, losing to the two people who wrote Can't Stop the Music, who also wrote Grease. Uh this movie is very thin on plot, but it's like competent and articulate, and there was no reason this movie should have been nominated for a Razzie at all. It's kind of like it was fine. I guess you're pick just because the movie bombed and the it's got celebrities in it.
I don't know. I think this movie really drew me in. Um, and
Yeah,
it's kind of weird to single out the screenwriter for that. I feel like you could have singled out the director too, but I guess maybe the Razzie's not who they picked for director is more deserving. Um, which they picked freaking Stanley Kubrick. Uh, what was it? Fine screenplay. It wasn't abhorrent like an abhorrent romantic movie like Change of Seasons.
yeah. I think this movie works better as a drama than a comedy.
Oh, I didn't laugh at all.
No,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So I thought this movie had some very sweet dramatic moments, which we'll get to in the categories and stuff. But yeah, it was more innocuous than great, but whatever. I guess you need diversity in your awards. Getting a little tight on time, but I can get through this trivia break. So these are different questions about turns. Turns. First
Okay.
question. You spend your turn trying to help everyone at the table avoid death by plague in what cooperative board game from Z-Man Games?
Pandemic?
Very good, yes. The poorly received 2020 horror movie, The Turning, is based on a prominent ghost story novel by what turn of the 20th century American author?
That wasn't popular?
People like that movie?
I thought maybe, but maybe not.
I don't know.
Turn of 20th century author Shirley Jackson?
Turn of the turn of the
Oh, the screw. So Henry James?
yes. Turn Down for What is a 2013 club dancey rap song by Little John and what DJ with a reptilian moniker?
Oh, I actually know that song, but you said turn on for what? And I'm like, okay, fill in the blank. Here we go. But turn
No.
down for blank. Reptilian moniker. Skrillex, reptilian moniker.
No, I was going more literal. It's DJ Snake.
I don't know. He's probably a fine gentleman.
In Return of the King. Get it?
I don't want to,
Aragorn.
but I do.
Aragorn. This is hard to write because I couldn't think of thing that was whatever gettable enough. But anyway, Aragorn is named king of what specific region?
Yeah, I can picture the ceremony. I can't picture the region. Rivendell, not the elves. Never mind. Just move on.
It rhymes with Condor.
Gondor.
Yes. And then I think you can get this. What Swedish biologist, best known for his work in nomenclature, formally separated gulls from terns, get it, in 1758 in his book Systema Naturae?
So you just know everything about that book to get. How did you find out that terms is in the book? But anyways, is it Carol Linnaeus?
Carl. Yeah.
Carol? That was Carol, but whatever.
Maybe it's a translation thing. I don't know. But yes, I just looked up terns, the bird, and I kept scrolling until something that was quasi trivia gettable came up. I was gonna do a question about like the kingdom and phylum. And I'm not gonna do that. All right. Uh, we already addressed the music. That's sweet jazz. Any other technical category that made you feel any other way.
Cinematography by Bill Butler, who sounds like a athlete, like a baseball player or something, just because of Billy Butler. It's nothing remarkable, even though he apparently did the screen cinematography on Jaws. Wow.
That doesn't even sound right. But
Grease and Rocky 2 and
I mean, it's like it's lit properly and has some nice shots, but there's no like, wow, look at that camera thing. It's like a lot of talking.
when he assisted Gordon Willis on The Godfather. I thought he did The Godfather,
Gordon, yeah.
but yeah, nothing remarkable in any category.
So what do you think? What do you think of the song? It's my turn by
Diana Rice,
Ross.
Diana Ross has a nice voice. Um, I I almost couldn't enjoy it. I was straining to understand uh what it's my turn meant in terms of the song, like lyrically. Something about no longer crying. So it's like
Post breakup, yeah.
the benefit of breaking up type of song. Um, it was it's a pleasant, dramatic pop song, I guess. It's not great. The music, it's not a belted out type of song that showcases her voice or something. So it was fine.
I thought it was pretty neat. I don't know. It lacked a strong melody, but it was more likable than that people song from the competition. No, yeah. And it was apparently a big hit, like number 9 on the Billboard charts for Diana Ross, which is very, very popular singer, obviously. We don't need to give Diana Ross any more plaudits. She has plenty. Okay. Probably leaning towards break time, but still 2 minutes. Eh, such borderline. I guess let's take the break and see if I save a little more time on the break.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to the exciting part, the awards. Okay, here are my candidates for best scene in the movie. Candidate number 1, the opening credits with the driving and the jazz score playing. Candidate 2, when Dianne Wiest tells Jill Clayburgh to follow her heart. Very small but cute scene. And then the fight at the end in the airport between Michael Douglas and Jill Clayburgh. And my final candidate, the multiple scenes where Stephen Hill tried to support Jill Clayburgh. One of those,
Who's Stephen,
what?
who's Stephen Hill?
Her dad.
Oh. Uh, Jeez. I didn't catch everything that happened in the airport scene. There's a lot of dialogue there.
It was a lot, they got into an argument. She was suggesting that he change his flight to spend more time with her, and he's like, "I got a kid who lives in Kansas or something. I can't do these things." It was well acted. Like a lot of this movie was well acted despite its failings. Anyway, what's your favorite scene?
uh, I guess the most memorable is Diane. Is it Wiest?
I think it's I get. I should look this up. How pronounce It is Wiest.
I guess it was really good advice. I guess I give her scene the nod.
I will actually give it to. Well, I gave you that back door. I mean, the score playing over the opening credits. I like the other scenes, but it was just fun.
When you say driving, it's like driving after she teaches that math class.
Yeah, the opening title. I think it's after class. It's a car going up a hill. I don't even remember. But okay, here are my candidates for worst scene. Charles Grodin doing generic wood sales terminology on the phone. The meet cute between our protagonists with eating too much hollandaise sauce or whatever that was and vomiting. Or the breakup scene between Jill Clayburgh and Charles Grodin, where she's trying to be mad at him for not listening to her, but he is listening to her, and they have good chemistry, so it's awkward.
I have my own nominee. I'm going with the playing several arcade games over 10 minutes. I didn't, it's just to show how competitive she was.
And it was to show the things he knew, like baseball and stuff. I guess I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as you, but the breakup with Charles Grodin was insane. Charles Grodin is the catch. He is the A in a sexual pyramid.
I don't start a thing, but she wants him to listen more, and he goes, I don't think I can partake in everything you do.
I know, but at the same time, he is listening to her in the scene. Yeah, I understand. And Michael Douglas seems like a very nice character, but I didn't see the big conflict. Like, oh, you can't possibly go with Charles Grodin. You got to go with Michael Douglas. I never got that, but
No, it's supposed to be more subtle, but he's Michael Douglas is a little more supportive and cares more about what she wants.
yeah, he's a very intelligent guy. I'd probably go with him overall. To be fair, let's yeah. Okay, let's move on to best quote in the movie. I have three candidates. Jill Clayburgh saying "fuck face" to Daniel Stern after he leaves class. Uh, the scene where Charles Grodin tries to pitch his furniture sale to Jill Clayburgh. That's kind of funny. And then my favorite line from Charles Kimbrough or whatever his name is, the guy with glasses, says, "That's a classic case of compensatory displacement." It's kind of reaching there for a third nominee. But yeah, what's your favorite quote?
Uh, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I kind of think Eleanor Bergstein's Razzie was deserved. Um, I'm gonna go way left field because I don't think there's any that great quote in the movie. I like the rabid random fan of that old timers game supporting Mickey Mantle and saying they couldn't afford you now, Mickey. Even if they sold the stadium, they couldn't afford you.
And he says something else too. It's like he just really wanted it to be heard at the old timers game. That's a good one. I'm gonna go off the board too. The because I burned it on the scene thing, but Dianne Wiest telling her to follow her heart. That was probably like the trailer bait of the movie. It was really good. But yeah, and I think Dianne Wiest made that more than it was. But yeah. Okay, here's my candidates for worst quote. I know she vomited, but Michael Douglas's pickup line to Jill Clayburgh is still, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?" And then next one is, um, oh, yeah, Jill Clayburgh asked Michael Douglas, "How many people are in the relationship?" Like a Freudian question. It was so forced. It was in the trailer
Yeah,
too. And then
like, yeah.
Jill Clayburgh's in bed and she says, "I keep my watch on Chicago time so I can tell when the mathematician should be sleeping." And then I put it as a quote, but Michael Douglas sends her a novelty-sized ice cream cone with a baseball in it at the end. I was kind of like, what? Okay. Well, there's something else.
Can't believe you didn't pick for this category when they're playing foosball, I think it is. And
Oh,
Joe Clayburgh, hey, hold on.
sorry.
Joe Clayburgh's coat or shawl, or whatever that is, gets caught, and then Michael Douglas says, "Your clothes are dumb," and then she goes, "You're dumb."
I thought that was kind of cute, and he was kind of right. She does wear shawly things like constantly. Because she's a
No, it's not your clothes are dumb. It's why are your clothes so dumb?
okay. Yeah, I kind of liked it, but then sorry to interrupt you, but they were playing electronic some baseball game. It wasn't just foosball, but yeah,
They played. That was my whole point about worst scenes. They play like 5 games.
yeah. Honestly, I think I kind of perked up because I was like, "Ooh, video games! I know, I know those." That's fair
Video
though.
games and baseball. My game.
I have to go with the. She sits up in bed and goes, "How many people are in this relationship?"
And then they work it out. That's was it 8? Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah. There's a lot of bad quotes in this movie. I'm also leaning towards you, where it's a likable chick flick in a way, but it's just not a very well written one. So, uh, oh yeah. Did anyone reach their high point in this movie? I couldn't think of a real one. The old timers game definitely got the most rub I've ever seen in a major motion picture.
I'll give it to like because he's such a generic name, it's hard to remember. It's Stephen Hill because it showed a different side of him than Law and Order. So
It's
it's the
fair.
benefit of being. It's not that didn't blow me away by any means. No one did in this movie, but um, he's a nice, charming father figure to his daughter, Joe Clayburgh.
Yeah, that's a good answer for sure. Uh, anyone reached their low point in this movie? Ray Stark for allegedly abusing Claudia Wheel out of directing. Yeah, I mean,
Uh, Probably
yeah,
give it to Charles Grodin for being magnificent. Other things, it ends up being a small part. He seems like he'd be more involved at the beginning. This this whole because referring back to Podstrek, where they have subcategories of romantic movies, kind of meeting someone else while on vacation or on a trip. But this movie's weird in that the original partner doesn't go along on a trip. Um,
yeah, and he never directly reacts to the affair.
I think this movie might have been more interesting if Charles Grodin attended the wedding with Jill Clayburgh, and she still falls for Michael Douglas um, on
Yeah,
the trip.
I think they're trying to avoid because very artsy track record for Claudia Wheel, so maybe she's trying to avoid traditional conflict and stuff. I don't know, but yeah,
In retrospect, it's kind of almost felt like the behavior of a separated couple. She gets to travel by herself, and she almost sleeps with Michael Douglas the first night they meet each other. And then they get close and don't, but then they sleep with each other.
yeah,
There's no calendar or anything, so you can't know how many days in between. But the next time they basically have a date, um, she so quickly dates. It's not incestuous, but it's getting there with the son of the woman your dad's marrying. So they're kind of related by marriage.
that was the thing too. They didn't address at all. Oh, I actually have that later in the thing, but anyway, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's just move on then. Okay, let's say the MVP of this movie, the positive part, is it Michael Douglas, Jill Clayburgh, Charles Grodin, Dianne Wiest, the score slash jazz noises, or something else?
Uh, yeesh. Well, I give it to someone. Give it to Clayburgh just for being a woman in STEM, and then she does a good job, I guess. So I'll say Clayburgh. I think
Ye-
I think Douglas kind of comes off as a prick to me with some of his jokes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with despite I kind of agree with you, but Michael Douglas had a really competent line reading, and it's relatively early in his career, kind of established himself as a leading man. So I thought he definitely carried the movie.
Yes, he's actually a lot of these movies, Razzie them we've been watching. He's definitely a lot more charming of a leading man than pretty much everyone else.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins and Change of Seasons.
Yeah.
He tried to build a house with everyone living together. Okay, so let's talk about the least. Let's look up a better name. The least VP, the negative, most negative part of this movie. I did have a candidate for the screenplay, very mild in its plot decisions, not a lot of memorable jokes, not super memorable drama. Uh, Daniel Stern for being annoying and whiny. The baseball on the ice cream cone for being the end of the movie, or the never addressed idea that she really wants to fuck her brother-in-law.
Uh,
One of those, something else.
it's something you catch about the brother-in-law thing, but it didn't really dominate my mind. Uh, I'll add on Claudia Wheel. She didn't deserve to get yelled at by whoever you said, but
Yeah, producer. Yeah,
uh, Claudia Wheel and Eleanor Bergstein together put together a underwhelming product, and there's nothing bad about this movie per se, really, but it's not that memorable either. A few years from now, someone's gonna ask me if it, I don't know, it wouldn't happen, but they saw It's My Turn in the store or something. What's this movie about? Then I saw it. I can't, it was pretty forgettable. And I think it's kind of the fault of the director and the writer here.
yeah, I agree. I would separate only because a lot of really strong acting performances slash line readings and very competent visuals. So I give it to Bergstein's script more than Wheel's direction, but it's a similar argument. All right, what happened there? All right, take a brief stopover in Critics Corner. Pulled up Roger Ebert's review. His review was very particular. He said you can almost keep a mental list of the important topics as they're ticked off in the dialogue. The people don't have conversations. They seem to march through feminist issues. And I kind of know what he's getting at, but it didn't bother me in that direct way. I did mention the Freud people in the relationship thing. That was really lame. But it didn't feel like overwhelmingly generic political rhetoric.
No, I think it was very political. Um, just more boring than anything. Just Michael Douglas and Jill Clayburgh are kind of trading barbs, if you will.
Yeah.
They don't really land that well. They're not that funny.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think we kind of agree from a different side, but yeah, the script is just kind of dull in the dialogue and yeah. Uh so where would this movie rank in the Razzie Pantheon? Uh it's not abysmal like The Island or Change of Seasons. It's not super good either. It's somewhere like I don't know, seems like Old Times was a clunky broad comedy. This is like a clunky rom com, somewhere in there, or like
wrong. I'll have to, I guess I could see the attempts at comedy, but I didn't think they were funny.
I don't know, but rom coms tend to have lighter jokes than normal comedies in general. You might be more of an expert. I mean, might to me that than that now, but That's my opinion. Anyway,
Uh,
mid.
well, I'm more negative on this than you. Um, like I just said, it's not bad, but I don't think it's good either.
Yeah, I agree.
And seems like Old Times has more obvious negatives, but it has more obvious successes, I think, because it tries to be funny and uh and stuff. It actually has very uneven Chevy Chase, but at least it's a comedian in the lead. It doesn't work that well as a drama either, but it's not that bad either. So it's somewhere in the middle, low. I really should, uh, if I rank them all, probably right in the middle. So in the forgettable zone, I would say, not the bad zone.
Yeah, yeah, had good acting, good casting. Nothing disgusting. Yeah, like yeah.
I actually give the movie credit because it kind of the the big decision event that the film's hinging on is whether she'll change to Michael Douglas or stick with Charles Grodin, and it portrays Jill Clayburgh's mindset to picking Michael Douglas in subtle ways and I would say logical ways. So it's the writing's somewhat clever in that regard. So it's a positive. Even that was kind of like a feeling like searching for a compliment. I'm not gonna remember this movie in a couple of years.
Yep. So let's let the forgetting begin. All right. Before we go, see if you can guess our next movie. We're going back to 2025 with another Worst Picture nominee. So it's one of those movies where you might not know the by name. So first clue: this is a science fiction adventure film, directed by the Russo brothers, starring Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Kei Kwan, and literally seven other famous actors in supporting roles.
It's like the Robot Wars.
Well, your second clue.
Oh, the Electric State.
Yes. Only available on Netflix. But if you have Netflix, you get it for free.
Hopefully, I got my Netflix for free.
Yeah, I know. I feel you there. Yeah, should be probably disappointing. I don't know. didn't get didn't get a ton of pub despite the Russo brothers and the stuff. So we'll find out next week on Tween Bill. Book me on your shows or let's be best friends and hang out maybe. I don't know.